So we're going to start with a little meditation today. So if you want to sit up on a blanket or a towel to start, or even a block, and then just bring yourself to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. You can use the wall or a piece of furniture if it would feel good to have that supporting you to sit up nice and tall. And then palms can be up or down on the thighs or knees, or they can be comfortably in your lap. And then bring the eyes to close. Gently draw the shoulders up to the ears, hugging them up, and then roll them back down the back, allowing for the chest to be nice and open. And if you need to root down once more into the sits bones, and then draw the head, the crown of the head up toward the ceiling, gently pulling the chin just ever so slightly back. Connect here with your natural inhale and exhale. And with such a beautiful day outside today, sometimes I think the sun brings out this renewed energy. And with everything else that's going on, I think in meditation here, just sitting and noticing, checking in with the body and the mind will be helpful for us to start our practice. So I'll start with a short reading here from Victoria Erickson. And you can use this reading to help set a mantra for yourself, or if you have a mantra that you're working with, then during the silence of the meditation, you can use that. And if all else fails, if the mind still begins to wander and chatter too much, just say to yourself, inhale and exhale. Sitting up nice and tall, soften. Soften into the world around you. Allow the air and earth to heal, revive, rejuvenate, reawaken. Remember how wildness always holds you close, strong, consistent, slow and steady. Rocks you in scents and sights and rhythms. Is always there to ground you. Is always soothing and knowing and simple and ready. Take the last minute or so here to soften in through your body. Soften the eyes, the jaw, soften the heart and the shoulders. Allow the hips to melt into your prop. And allow the mind to soften into whatever is. Let it be. And bring your hands to your belly here. As you stay with that natural inhale and exhale, allow the belly to soften out into your hands. Sometimes it takes a few breaths to release the belly if we're so used to pulling it in. Allow it to push against your elastic waistband, against your hands, to drop into the pelvis. And then on the next inhale, really fill up the belly. See if you can extend it a little bit more against your hand. Hold it out there. And then as you exhale, just gently let it deflate. Breath comes back out through the nose. One more of those. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly up. Noticing where the breath goes there, how it moves around in the belly, filling different spots, and hold it in extension. And then gently let it deflate, breath back out through the nose. And from here, you can let the hands come back out to the thighs and either keep the eyes closed for the next seated portion, or you can let them flutter gently open. And if you'd like to stay on your prop, you can do that if it feels good on your hips, or you can come up off the prop and move it to the side. If you do that, just give yourself a little rock back and forth, maybe pull some of the flesh out of the way and feel the sits bones in connection with the earth. Inhale the arms up and overhead and twist over toward the left. Inhale it back up. Exhale over toward the right. With your breath, inhale to center and over toward the left. Moving from side to side, just with that gentle twist, allow the arms to flow. And gaze can gently follow wherever it feels comfortable as you slowly loosen up the neck for the practice. Finish the round you're on, and then take one more over to the left, back to center, and over to the right. Meeting back in center. And as you exhale, gently find a forward fold here. Fingertips can come to the ground. Keeping a nice long back, long neck by sending the gaze just a couple of inches in front. And from here, soften through the belly. Maybe on the exhales going just a little bit deeper, but only if you can keep the sits bones connected with the ground behind you. And feel the belly press maybe against your feet or heels, or fall in between your legs. Come back up onto the fingertips if you aren't already. Round through the spine and rise back up to a seated position. Find the opposite cross of the legs. Root down once again into the sits bones, rocking from side to side. And then inhale the arms up overhead, twist to the right. Inhale the arms up overhead and to the left. So just finding these flowy twists, not too deep, not too perfect. Just move with your breath. And take one more from side to side. Meeting back in the center. And once again, finding that forward fold whenever you finish your round. Releasing in through the belly, keeping that long neck. And over the next breath, drag the fingertips in as you round the spine and come up to seated. From here, bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. So as always, if you want to make this a really tight Baddha Konasana or have your legs nice and long, whatever is calling to you. And then you can always have blankets or blocks underneath the outer thighs. Inhale the arms up and overhead, reach out of the fingertips, gaze up toward the ceiling, keeping a nice long spine. And then twist over to the left. This time, the right hand finds the left knee. The back hand can be used as a kickstand to go just a little bit deeper in the twist than we did from side to side. Gaze either toward the side wall or over the back shoulder. And feel the twist through the belly while at the same time softening and releasing through the belly. On the next breath, unwind. Bring the arms up overhead. Gaze can follow as energy shoots out the fingertips. And then exhale to twist over to the right. Left hand finds the right knee. Back hand is used as a kickstand. Send your gaze wherever it's comfortable. And let the belly soften. For me, there's this deep connection between the belly and the heart center. And when I allow my belly to surrender and be free, I notice my heart opening up a little bit more. So it might not be the same for you. Just notice what that softening and letting go of the belly, what effect that might have on different parts of the body or mind. Over the next breath, slowly unwind and bring the hands to the outer thighs as you draw them to center. Soles of the feet find the ground. So you might want to scoot your feet a little bit closer to your rear end or not. And then inhale the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, cross the arms over your shins, finding a hug here. Maybe the chin drops or the forehead drops, but get a nice squeeze here. And then gently release the arms and roll yourself down onto your mat. Knees face the ceiling, spine in its natural curve on the mat. From here, just take the feet as wide as the mat, arms out either into a cactus or a T, and just begin to take some windshield wipers from side to side. Slowly continuing to open up the hips, release the lower back. And then bring the knees back to center. And bring the feet in, hips width distance apart. You can tuck the sacrum on the mat here. So just a pelvic tilt out toward the ceiling. And draw the right knee into the chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. And then draw the right leg in for half happy baby. So either reaching for the outside of the foot, if you can still keep the shoulders on the mat, or you can reach for the back of the thigh, wherever feels comfortable for you. And then send the left leg long toward the bottom of the mat. Arm can either be out to the side or on the left hip bone. And we're gonna take, while we're in this half happy baby, sort of this half snow angel. So you'll sweep your leg out to the side. It might not go that far. And then back to the center, maybe gently crossing just over the center. And sweep it back out to the side. And back to center. Just moving like that. Mine just goes to the edge of my mat before I feel like it doesn't go any further. So just be honoring your body without any judgment, moving just to your edge and back to center. And after one more round of bringing it out to the side, just bring it back to center. Point through the toes and hold in your half happy baby. Allow the shoulders to relax down toward the mat. Keep pointing through that left foot. On the next exhale, rise it up toward the ceiling. Toes are pointing toward the ceiling. And then bend through the left leg, bringing the sole of the left foot back to the mat. Release the right foot back to the mat. And then take the feet as wide as the mat once again. Take a few more rounds of windshield wipers. Just gently rocking the knees from side to side. And you can send the gaze over the opposite shoulder if that's calling to you, or you can keep the gaze toward the ceiling. And then bring the knees back to center. Draw the feet into hips width distance apart. And hug the left knee into the chest this time, giving it a gentle rock back and forth. Just allowing it to rotate a little bit in the hip socket. And then find your half happy baby on this side, either reaching behind the thigh or to the outer edge of the foot. And just notice if it's any different on this side. Feel that sensation. And then send the right foot long to the bottom of the mat, flexing through the foot. And take that snow angel leg on this side. So sweeping it toward the outer side of your mat and then back in. Notice if there's any difference on this side. Maybe you have more or less range of motion. And the next time the foot comes back to center at the bottom of your mat, point through the toes. Allow the shoulders to relax toward the mat. That right leg is sort of passively strong as you point through those toes. On the next exhale, bring the right toes to point toward the ceiling. And then bend through the right leg, bringing the sole of the foot back to the mat. and releasing the left sole of the foot back to the mat. Once again, bring the feet as wide as the mat. And this time just rock the knees over toward the left here, holding in this twist. If you're feeling more open in the hips, you can bring the left foot on top of the right thigh, just to provide a little bit more stretch. If there's any place in the body you need to soften or surrender into, take a moment to do that. And then unhook the left foot, bring the knees back to center and rock it over to the right. Option here to hook the right foot on top of the left thigh. Use the breath to soften. And then unhook the right foot. Bring the legs back to center. And extend the legs long toward the bottom of the mat. So bring them about mat's width distance apart. And then grab opposite elbows up over the chest and then bring them up over the head. Hug the shoulder blades together just ever so slightly under the body. And allow the shoulder blades to release into the mat. From here, take the crossed elbows over toward the right, and then bring the left leg over toward the right. So you're finding this crescent shape on the mat, but with the elbows, with the hands on the elbows. So you should feel a nice long stretch in the left side body and the crescent shape or banana asana shape on the right side. Keep both shoulders in connection with the mat, both hips on the mat. And then come back to center, legs long, and take it over to the other side. So feet go toward the bottom left corner of your mat, elbows toward the top left corner, finding the stretch in the right side of the body and the crescent shape in the left. And bring it back to center. Release the arms up overhead. So we're gonna find a full snow angel pose here. So the arms are as wide as the mat and the feet are as wide as the bottom of the mat. And then just start bringing everything together as if you're making a snow angel with the last bits of snow left outside. Notice the range of motion of your legs when both of them are moving at the same time. Just allow the arms to flow. It can be with the breath or opposite. It doesn't really matter. Just getting in tune with the body and connection with the ground as you gently sweep the ground with your arms and your legs. And the next time the arms come up overhead, leave them there. And then hug both knees into your chest. You can wrap your hands around the back of your thighs or in front of your shins and give yourself a little rock back and forth. And then however you want to get there, you can rock and roll all the way up or roll to one side. We're going to meet at the top of the mat in a forward fold. You can bring your feet to hips width distance apart. Allow the arms to hang. Maybe give a little sway from side to side. And then come back to stillness. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale to fold forward. Sweep the arms out to the side, root to rise. Rise nice and slow. Gaze can go up toward the hands. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms out and up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Once again, finding a forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows or stay in stillness with the fingertips reaching down toward the mat. And then inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. Sweep the arms out to the side, root to rise, gaze can follow. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release the arms by the side. Take the feet a little bit wider than hips width distance apart. And then sweep the arms out to the side in a T. And then wrap your arms one over the other, finding a nice big hug here. Close the eyes. And really hug like you are giving yourself some self-love, or you're hugging your favorite person or pet. We'll be here for several rounds of breath. A hug, even if it's to yourself, allows the body to reduce stress, increase immunity, and it has so many other benefits. Allow the belly to release here. Give yourself a nice final squeeze, maybe rock from side to side. Slowly flutter the eyes open as you reach the arms up and overhead. And then exhale to fold forward. Just finding this wide, somewhat wide-legged forward fold here. Find a wide-legged forward fold that works enough just so that you can touch the fingertips on the mat. If you want to take your legs out wider or closer together, whatever works for your body. And see if you can straighten through the legs, feeling that stretch along the backs of the legs, and then maybe give a little rock back and forth, just a subtle rock back and forth on the fingertips and on the feet. Just feeling a different sensation in the back of the legs as you move. And then come back to center, come back to stillness. And slowly find yourself in a tabletop position. So however you want to get there is fine. And once you find yourself there, take a couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale to round the spine, drop the head. Take one more round. We'll meet in a neutral spine. And then tuck the toes here. We're going to do a toe stand here. So bring your feet and your knees together. There's no space in between your feet and your knees. And if this feels like enough, you can always stay here. If you want a little bit more, it's going to be a foot stretch. Walk yourself back, maybe eventually coming up all the way to sit onto your toes. Wherever you are, make sure that all 10 toes are flicked out. And then you can always come out of this just by gently bringing your hands back, releasing the feet. But if you can stay in it, this is such a good stretch for the feet. If you're all the way sitting up, we'll take our mind off of this a little bit. Bring your arms up and overhead. Find that opposite grasp of the elbows. And really reach the elbows up toward the ceiling, getting a nice long spine. And then find a side bend over to the left. Once again, finding that crescent shape, so staying lifted up out of the arms. Gaze can go up under the right arm, or can stay straight, or even down toward the mat. And then bring it back to center, find that stretch over toward the other side. Staying lifted out of the arms. If it's too much sensation on the feet, just come out of it. If it's not enough sensation on the feet, press the big toes into the mat for a little bit more. Come back to center. Release the arms down by the sides. We'll stay here for just 3 more rounds of breath. You can bring your hands wherever they're comfortable. Roll the shoulders back. Stay nice and open. And then you can begin to bring your hands back to the mat. Rock onto your knees, just bringing the feet up off the mat. Let some of the blood flow back in, and then you can tap the toes on the mat. From here, take the knees wide, toes together. We'll find a child's pose. Arms out long in front of you. Once again, allowing that belly to soften in the cradle of your legs. And with the next breath, press into the palms, tuck the toes, and push back in a downward facing dog. Give yourself a little pedal out here, straightening one leg and bending the other. And then come back to stillness. Inhale the right leg back and bend the knee, opening up the right hip. Maybe take some ankle circles or knee circles, or stay in stillness here. And release that leg behind you and step it through in between your hands. Lower the left knee down to the mat. You can have the toes tucked or untucked on that left leg. And always feel free to pad the knee if you need it. And then bring your hands up to your right thigh. Once again, encouraging that opening through the left hip flexor. And then reframe the right foot. Plant the left palm as the right arm floats up to the sky. And we'll move from side to side here, moving that blood flow up and down the arms. As you exhale, the right hand comes to the inside of the right foot, the left arm rises. Left arm replaces right, right arm rises, moving from side to side. The next time the left arm rises, bring it back to the inside of the right foot. Tuck the left toes, bringing the left knee off the mat, and reframe that right foot. And we'll rise up into a high lunge. So arms up overhead, both hips facing the front of your mat. And then open up into warrior two. So make sure that the heel and back arch are in alignment and that you're centered over your hips. Gaze can go over that front arm. And from here, reverse your warrior. Once again, we're going to move that blood back and forth. So rebend through the right knee if you need that reminder. And then sweep it forward, side angle. And reverse your warrior. Gaze can go up. Sweep it forward, side angle. Reverse your warrior. Sweep it forward. And last time, reverse it, holding here for a full round of breath. And then find your side angle. And then we'll find that high lunge once again. From here, we're going to move from high lunge back to warrior two. So moving from warrior two to high lunge. Find your balance here and move nice and slow. Moving from pose to pose. Next time you come to high lunge, we'll meet there. Beautiful. Reframe the right foot. And step back into downward facing dog. Give yourself a little pedal or any other movement that your body's calling for. And inhale the left leg back up behind you and bend through the knee, opening up the hip, taking some knee circles or ankle circles or stillness. And then straighten through the left leg and step it through in between your hands. From here, drop the back knee, toes tucked or untucked, and then bring your hands up onto your left hip, allowing the right hip flexor, that sensation, and that space to open. Release the hands to reframe the left foot. Sweep the left arm up to the sky. And we'll move from side to side here. As the left arm lowers, bring it to the inside of the left foot. Right arm rises. Right arm replaces left. Left arm replaces right. Move at your own pace. And the next time the right arm rises, bring it back to the mat. Tuck the right toes, release the knee up off the mat, and then reframe that left foot, rising all the way up into high lunge. And then open it up into warrior two. Just making sure that the front ankle bisects with the back arch, and then that you're centered over your hips. And from here, reverse your warrior. And sweep it forward into side angle, moving at your own pace to reverse and flow forward. And the next time you come into a reverse warrior, stay there for at least a round of breath. And then sweep it forward, finding that side angle. And come back up into warrior two and sweep it forward into a high lunge. And we'll do the same thing. We'll open up into warrior two and sweep it forward into high lunge. Move with your body. And the next time you come into high lunge, just stay there for a moment. Reframe the front foot and step back into downward facing dog, taking any movement your body is calling for. And then float forward into a plank pose. And lower yourself all the way down. Inhale up to a low baby cobra. And exhale to release, pressing back into child's pose. Depending on how your shoulders are feeling, you can either stay right here, or you can take a thread the needle child's pose. So send your gaze over to the right and sweep the left arm underneath the right arm. Right arm can stay long, or you can sweep it back behind you. Whatever feels good for your body. And that left shoulder gently releases into the mat. The left cheek is on the mat. And the belly is soft between your legs. And then slowly begin to unwind the left arm, sending it back out in front of you. If you're not threading the needle, but you want a little bit different sensation, you can sweep the arms back behind you, taking this embryo pose. If you are threading the needle, then send your gaze over toward the left and sweep the right arm underneath the left. The right shoulder lands, the right cheek finds the mat. Once again, the belly is softened in between the legs. And if you'd like to keep that left arm long, you can leave it where it is, or you can sweep it back behind you for a little bit of a bind. And over the next couple of breaths, you can begin to unwind that right arm. We'll meet in an extended child's pose. And then you can just walk your hands in to come up to seated. We're gonna get our prop ready for supported pigeon. So I have a beach towel here folded in kind of quarters, and then I'm gonna roll it up. So really whatever you have, and if it's a pillow, that's fine too. You want it to be the length of the short side of your mat, and then you'll place it about a third of the way down the mat, but you might need to adjust that once we get into pigeon. But it's gonna go underneath both of your hips so that you can really settle in there. And then once you have your prop, you can push yourself back in a downward facing dog. Now, if pigeon doesn't work for you, you can take a figure 4 on your back. So inhale the right leg back up behind you, and exhale to step it through to the other side of your prop. Position your prop underneath your hips and allow your hips to sink on there. Extend your left leg long, and then the right leg, the shin maybe is parallel to the top of the mat, but probably not. Your right heel can be in closer toward your left hip. And then you can either stay upright, or you can begin to come down onto your forearms or down onto your hands. Wherever you go, make sure it's someplace that you can stay for a minute or two. And if once you get in this, you realize this isn't gonna work for you, you can cross your right ankle over your left and come into figure 4 on your back. Slowly coming out of this pose. You can press into your palms to rise back up if you aren't there already. And then tuck the left toes, bringing the left knee off the mat. And sweeping the right leg back up behind you. You can open the hip. Take some circles, whatever's calling to you. And then when you're ready, you can sweep the left leg back behind you and find the pigeon on the other side. Sending the right leg long and positioning that prop underneath your hips. Take a moment to stay lifted. And then if you'd like to lower down, slowly lower down. And allowing yourself to surrender in this pose. We'll take 5 more breaths here. So if there's any place in the body you need to release, and use this time to do that. When you're ready, slowly transitioning out of this pose, rising up, taking a moment, and then tuck the right toes, right knee comes off the mat as you sweep the left leg back, taking the movement that your body is asking for. And then slowly lower your knees down to the mat. And just find yourself on your back. Knees face the ceiling. Sweep the arms out to the side in a T or in cactus. And just notice the natural curve of your spine as your gaze floats toward the ceiling. And then cross your right leg over your left, so your thigh over thigh. And you can scoot your hips over toward the right as your legs drop over toward the left, finding this deep final spinal twist here. Gaze can go over the right shoulder. And if you'd like to bring your left hand on top of your right thigh, just for a little extra pressure, that can feel nice. And then bring the legs back to center, scoot the hips back to center. And uncross the legs, bend the cross the opposite way so the left thigh goes over the right. Scoot the hips over to the left and drop the knees over to the right. Finding this final twist on this side. Gaze can go over the left shoulder if that feels okay. And right hand can come on top of the left thigh. Slowly bring the knees and hips back to center. Uncross the legs and bring the arms long by the side. We'll take one dynamic bridge here. As you inhale, press into the feet, rise the back and arms up off the mat. Backs of the hands can find the ground behind you. As you exhale, slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae. From here, if there's any final pose or shape that you would like to take a moment to do that. Or you can just enter Shavasana. That rolled prop that we use for pigeon can feel nice under the knees. And whenever you get to Shavasana, just take up your space. Allow the arms to be out by the side and hug the shoulder blades gently underneath the body. Just allowing that heart to shine up toward the sky. Bring the eyes to a close and let the eyes soften in the sockets. Unhinge the jaw. Let the belly be soft and the feet splay out to either side of the mat. Take these last breaths of the practice to soften through your entire body. Slowly bring some awareness back to the breath and to the body. Take some movements in your fingertips and toes. Rock your head from side to side. And take any other movement your body is calling for. When you're ready, you'll roll to one side, no rush. Spend at least a full round of breath in fetal position. And eventually we'll meet back in a seated position. Just move slowly and mindfully as you get there. Once you find yourself in a seat, bring your hands back to your belly and close your eyes. Allow the belly to release into your hands. Maybe finding that connection with the heart or with another area of your body. Soften. Soften into the world around you. Inhale the arms up and overhead. And on your last exhale of this practice, bring the hands back to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.